So, my name is Kohlani Gilliam. I go by the rap name of Zaire. I don't know, it was a lot. Like, growing up only child, like, all you really got is your imagination. I was really into writing, so that's all I would do. I was either just write raps or play basketball. My main goal as a kid was I like had like the biggest hoop dream ever. You know, just even the way my accident happened, like right before the moment I got hit, I was moving real fast. And that's like a little small metaphor, but like in my before my accident, that's all it was about. I was just moving real fast. It was one of them things where like you wake up the next morning, you really expect it to be a dream, but it's like it's not. I just feel like I have so much more room to grow. Like my end goal is to be in the industry. I wanted to be an artist that's respected, and I think that's gonna happen this year.
Chasing that check, gotta work every week. And if I die to my kids, they kings. This adrenaline running my jeans.
I crashed into him. He crashed.
Gets out.
Oh my god.
Gets out of the car.
Car passes.
One car passes. He double back. No car behind. What up, man?
Hey, you walking way better.
What's up, son?
As a child, Zaire had dreams of becoming the next basketball star. One night, an accident changed his life. Childhood dreams started to fade away, leg amputated, and many obstacles ahead. His story is intriguing. You may find yourself rooting for Zaire, as many of us are, to become the next hip-hop star. Welcome to the story of Zaire.
My name is Kohlani Gilliam. I go by the rap name of Zaire. I pretty much grew up all over the place. Like, for like the first 9 years of my life, me and my mom was living in San Diego. My grandparents, I lived in Culver City, so like every summer I would just transfer back and forth. Maybe like after like when I got to like middle school, that's when I moved to IE, like towards like Moreno Valley. But I was still going back and forth from there in LA. So my whole life I pretty much just consider LA home. Like that's where I've been pretty much everywhere. So my childhood it had a lot. I've seen a lot of shit in my childhood. I was the only child. I grew up with my mom in a split household, so like my mom and my dad wasn't together. I used to go to my dad's like on the weekends and shit. I don't know, it was a lot. Like growing up only child, like all you really got is your imagination. Your imagination, going to school and stuff like that. So I mean, I was just coming with stuff on the go. That's when I was a kid. I used to be writing raps and stuff. I was really into writing, so that's all I would do. I would either just write raps or play basketball. So yeah. My main goal as a kid was I like had like the biggest hoop dream ever. My favorite player was Kobe, so like as a kid, that's all I wanted to be growing up. I thought I was gonna be the next Kobe. But you know, things happen, life happens, like second and third. But that was like my biggest goal. Like I still love hooping to this day, but that was it. I wanted to go to the league since a little kid. So before my accident, like I looked at life from like a different perspective. I wouldn't say like the accident changed my perspective. It did, but I wouldn't say it fully changed my perspective of life. I think your perspective of life changes like just every day. But I think before that happened to me, I looked at a lot of things, like little things like just walking. You know, before I had my prosthetic leg, I was just sitting down for months, and I didn't realize how much we take something like that for granted, like how important a leg really is. You know, like you walk on it every day. You know, it would be the middle of the night, I couldn't get to go to the restroom. Like, damn, like little things like that, or, you know, just even the way my accident happened, like right before the moment I got hit, I was moving real fast. And it's just, that's like a little small metaphor, but like in my, like, before my accident, that's all it was about. I was just moving real fast. everywhere I go, just hopping out the car, this and that, third, resting this. And so now it's like, I'll take everything with like a more calm, like more slow approach, like just take your time with everything. So that's pretty much my life before the accident, just fast motion, just going like young, just moving, trying to move fast. And things just come into perspective by the day. So yeah. So the morning of leading us to the accident, actually me and him was supposed to go to Six Flags. So we had our tickets ready. At the time I just got into a relationship with my girl at the time. Like everything in my life was going perfect. I had just quit this weak ass job I was at. Like everything was just going smooth. I just felt like I was going the right direction in life. I had this little EP I was about to drop. But that, like, me and him talk about it all the time. Like that whole morning just felt like, kind of just felt weird. I don't want to say like too good, but it just felt like it was real gloomy outside. It's like, it was just like shit just didn't seem right. And then, yeah, all day I was just telling him like how like happy I am, like how, you know, I feel like I'm going the right direction in life, this, that, and the third. A few hours later, just a crazy random tragedy happens. But yeah, like the day was just going good. Everything was fine. Nothing too out of the ordinary happened. Like, you know what I mean? So we was on our way to the dispensary. So we had went to the ATM before. It was me, him, and 3 other people. So we went to the ATM before, and I went to the ATM to take out 20. So, because usually I just hop in, go get it, whatever. So I took out the 20. Now, on my life, he my witness. I put that 20 in my pocket. Like, to this day, I wouldn't say that. I know for a fact. I put the 20 in my pocket. I hopped in the car like, we good. And so we went down the street to the dispensary. So we got there. They're like, who getting out? I'm like, I'll get out. Go get it. So I get out the car. I'm like, it's like a Volkswagen Jetta car. So I'm like on the left behind the driver's side. So we're on the curb and it's always like 2 lanes. This is on Crenshaw. It's like the streets it's narrow, but I mean it's enough space. I mean, you can see if somebody's standing behind the car. So I get out the car. I start walking to the sidewalk, about to go to the dispensary. Right when I get to the door, I'm like, oh, where's the money? So at the time, like how I said before, you know, like I was moving fast. So they know, like, I used to always lose shit, like, all the time. Like, I'll be the first person to be like, in my wallet. So I go back in the car, I'm scared to tell them, I'm like, damn. I'm like, y'all, the money's gone. And like, oh, this guy. So I'm sitting there like, so I'm like, let me go check out on the curb one more time. Maybe it fell in my pocket or something. So I get out the car, and I turn my flashlight on my phone. I have it pointing at the ground. And at this point, I'm like behind the trunk. So I'm looking on the ground trying to see if I find the money. In my mind, I really know it's not there. But I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I'm just looking. I remember it was a certain point I was like, man, it's not here. Let me just go back in the car. So I remember I turned around, but I'm still like looking down. So I'm walking back towards the door. I remember the first car passing the lane. But I'm still looking down. But it's like, you know, you hear the cars, you just waiting for them to go by you. So I hear the first car. I'm like, okay, we all good. Now I remember I stopped because I heard the second car coming. And it was like a split second. I was like, hold up, this shit sound way too close. And I remember like the moment I looked up, it was just like, I don't know, like everything just kind of went black. So I remember
Crashed into him. He crashed.
Gets out.
Oh my god.
Gets out of the car.
Car passes.
1 car passes. He double back. No car behind.
So I remember waking up. I mean, I never went to sleep. So like during the whole accident, I was awake the whole time. But there was a moment where I felt like I had just woke up, and he was in front of me. The other people in the car in front of me, it was just random people in the street. I didn't know where I was. At this point, I didn't know my leg was gone. So, you know, I'm just like, I'm over here in shock. All this adrenaline, they trying to tell me, they freaking out. They're like, you know, don't look down, don't look down. I'm like, don't look down? What the fuck? What are y'all talking about? Everybody's saying, don't look down. So I'm like, don't look down. That's really the worst thing you can tell somebody in that moment, because I'm going to look down. So I remember I looked down, I'm like, it was just like, as like a human, that's just like the most freaking thing you could see. To see your own, because I literally saw my body opened up. So I seen it, I immediately just like, I didn't know what the hell was gonna happen. I didn't know if I was gonna die. My first thought was my leg is gone. I'm just like, my job, I was playing basketball at this time, so I'm just like, wow, this shit is, he's over here holding my hand, like, it's all good, bro, it's all good. I'm just like, nah, bro. Like, he'll tell you, like, in that moment, I was, like, not screaming or nothing. I'm just, like, straight face, like, nah, like, this is it's a wrap. Like, and it didn't really hit me at that point. Like, I didn't feel no pain really. I'm just like processing what's going on. So like, long story short, you know, I was probably out there on the street for like a good 15 minutes. A bunch of people came out the house. I believe they made a tourniquet. They tried to stop the bleeding. So it was just like 15 minutes. It was everybody around me just praying, asking me questions, calling the ambulance, and me literally just sitting there trying to stay alive. And they came. I went to the hospital, yada, yada, yada. And I woke up the next morning, and that was that. But, I mean, that whole night was just a crazy, like, experience. It was like a blur. It was one of them things where, like, you wake up the next morning, you really expect it to be a dream, but it's like, it's not. But, yeah, that's pretty much how that went. I mean, it's way more gruesome than that, but, I mean, I can't really get it. Yeah.
It's crazy right here. The youngster got hit by a car. They got hit and drugged by a car, nigga.
Oh, that shit's sick.
GB, that motherfucker, when I looked at it, now your knee like this, the motherfucker facing back this way. Like, nigga, that motherfucker, I was like, oh, good, I can't even look at that. He on the phone talking to his mama on FaceTime, like, mama.
He like, call my mama.
Nigga, he called his mama on FaceTime. That's crazy, bro. You said that didn't breath smell like no. While you talking to him, you can smell it?
Yeah, he do.
Wow.
That's right. Look, he talking about he didn't even know what he did. I know you did, my nigga. They thought the
So I forgot to add that part. I had FaceTime my mom while it was happening. So when I was like, as soon as like the car had stopped and like I kind of had crawled like out the car, like out from the hood of the car kind of, as everybody was running up to me, I FaceTime my mom. I remember like looking and seeing my phone was in my hand. So like I said before, when I was using the flashlight for it to like look on the ground, as I got hit, I don't know how, like the phone stayed in my hand. So I got hit the windshield, rolled under the car and was being dragged, and my phone's still in my right hand. So I don't know how that happened. So I wake up, I look at my phone, I'm like, and I just remember immediately calling my mom. So I know when I called her, I'm like, mind you, there's a lot of shock. So I'm like, mom. I remember saying it like 10 times. She's like, what? Like, what's wrong? Where you at? She just seen me on the street. She's like, where? I'm like, come here right now. I'm like, it's bad. I just got hit. You gotta come here. She's like, I remember looking at her. She looked like she thought I was playing. And I remember feeling like, damn. I was so mad because I'm like, she doesn't believe me. And I'm like, I gotta show her I'm serious. I don't remember what I did to show her I was serious, but eventually she obviously knew I was serious. That was my mom's reaction. My stepdad Jeff, when I was in the ambulance, like when I got to the hospital, as soon as they opened the doors, he was right there. So he was the first person. I thought I was like out. I thought I was dead. And my fear was like, damn, I don't want to get to the hospital and I die before everybody see me. So when I got there and they opened the doors, I see him. He's like, Cole, we here. I just felt so good and I felt like, okay, I go to sleep. Because I was like, okay, he's here. He can tell everybody he's seen me just in case anything happened. I see my actual dad when I woke up from surgery, maybe like a few hours later, like 5 hours, like 5 in the morning. I seen him, my mom, they was right in front of me. Their initial reaction was, they was just, that's a lot to see as parents. And they also just trying to be strong for me too, because they know it was way too early for it to really hit me. So I was kind of acting normal, making jokes like this, because it was like not even 24 hours in. I didn't even really fully understand what the hell just happened. So their reaction at first was kind of off like mine, because I don't think they really knew how to react. But I mean, honestly, right at that moment, I wasn't paying attention to them. I was tripping in and out over there. So not like that, but their reaction wasn't really like, it wasn't even crossing my mind at the time. The healing process. Damn. And people don't believe me when I say like I personally feel like I'm healed from it. Like, obviously I could talk about it. I've never saw a therapist about it. I remember when like the months after it happened, I thought like life was over. Like because it happened last year in May. All the way from May to like, I want to say like February this year, I just thought, and most of that too is, at the time I had like delayed healing on my leg, so I couldn't even get fitted for a prosthetic.
So this is just me months at home not doing nothing, just constantly sitting down. It's like you just like, bro, what is like? You just start losing hope of everything. But the healing process is weird. It's like, cause it's like it's not like a break. It's not like a breakup or something. It's like you lose a limb. Like that's just not coming back. And then it's like you just start. Once you lose it, you start to realize the things you're not able to do no more, and how you have to learn to maneuver, do new things. But like honestly, like with everything else, it just takes time. Like, cause I remember it was maybe like summer this year, just a day that like I had my prosthetic. I was walking more, whatever. But just a day clicked. I was just like, I mean, okay, like not okay, but it's like, what can I really do? Like you kind of just have to keep going. Like no matter how much I complain about it, or like I'm sad about it, mad about it, it's not gonna change. Like it happened for a reason. So the healing process is weird because as much as I say that, I can like next week come, I'll probably bust out crying in the mirror. But I think it's just like you just learn, like you find out new ways to deal with it. Like it just makes you stronger in a way.
Just try to take more or less equal steps. Try to take, a little bigger with the left, a little shorter with the right. There you go. Hold back. That's good. Right there's good. Pull it back. What was that?
No, this is just nice. I like this. This is fun. This is crazy.
I used to from it like bad. Like last year, that first year was like it was just so dark. Like everything, like I didn't want to go outside. I didn't want nobody looking, because this is when I'm on a wheelchair too. Like I didn't want nobody seeing me. I didn't want my friends. He used to be trying to come visit me. I'm like, nah. Like I don't want you to sit on the couch and there's nothing for us to do. I was dealing with depression bad last year, but like I said, like once I got my prosthetic and I started going outside more and just started accepting myself more so, life just became easier. It still is. Like it's still becoming easier. Yeah, everything just is taking time. Like time is like the biggest healer to me.
What up, my man?
Man, I think it was a lot of factors. I think like the main one had to have been my music. And also too like I said, I grew up, my favorite player was Kobe. So like I've always had that mentality of just like never giving up with shit. Like I even got a collective called Never Fold, and I had created at the time of that thing, and the whole basis of it was never fold on anything. And so when it happened, it was kind of like, man, I had so many people like I didn't realize, so many people hit me up just saying, DMing me, telling me like, oh, you inspired me. And at the time, that's like the weirdest message you can get. It's like teachers I had, or like people I was in class with saying, oh, they were blessed to ever met me. And I'm like I don't even know you. Stuff like that kind of just makes you feel like, okay, this is something bigger here. Like, I had people with, because I had posted myself walking on crutches around the time it happened. I had people with like, people that were like paralyzed that would hit me up and be like, yo, like, I just want to let you know, like, you're so strong. Like, saying they wish they was in a situation like me. So to see somebody like that, it's people that can't even move anything. And it's like, they wish they had something like this where it's like, okay, you can still do something with some shit. That was just like a push for me too. It was like, nah, like, what am I complaining about really? See, I know when I was in that situation and people was reaching out to me trying to give me advice, the main thing they would always say was like, even it'll be other amputees, people that went through the same thing. They'll tell me all the time, like, I know it doesn't seem, like it will, but eventually it gets better with time. Things get better. It's always light in the tunnel. And at the time you hear that, but when you're going through that don't really resonate with you. It's like, bro, because all you think about is how you feel in that moment. So to talk to anybody younger that's going through something, I would really just say, it's not it's not always, it's light at the end of the tunnel, but that don't mean that darkness is gonna come back either. So I would just feel like to embrace no matter how bad the situation is or how dark you feel, how bad you feel, you just have to embrace it. That's the only, you embrace it to accept it, because once you accept it, that's when you just take it for what it is. And you just start going back to normal life. Not normal life, but it's a new normal, and it's just gonna have to be that. So just embrace everything. Don't think about shit too much, don't dwell on anything, just take it for what it is. And I think that's when everything comes back to you. You just let it be for what it is. Yeah. You can show your thoughts too. Your thought process, that's a big thing. About me, I'm a cool dude. Like a lot of people, like I was just talking about this. A lot of people, like when they see me up front, they think I'm just like this cold person. And I'm not gonna respond to them. I'm gonna be rude. Like I'm not like that. Like I'm the nicest dude ever. Like easiest person to talk to. I'm just normal. Like I'm regular. And also this shit don't change nothing. Like seriously. I mean I tell people all the time, but I really want people to know that from jump. I don't want nobody treating me differently from it, giving me no type of special treatment. Like just treat me regular. That's the main thing. I'm still a regular person. Yeah. Put me half is damn. That's a good question. I don't know. I think many things, like hanging around my friends, my people. Recording always, like if I'm in a good space to record, it's always a happy space. Recording is always fun. I think mostly hanging around people that I care about, like just chilling with my people. Like I like that. I like, especially if it's a lot on my mind. I don't want to say that's my distraction, but that's kind of how like I cope too. Just being with my friends or like family or anything. That's my happy place. Yeah, I do. I do. It's terrible. It was called Kobe and LeBron. It was terrible. I made it in 4th grade. I heard this Young Jeezy song. He was talking about Kobe and LeBron the hook, and at the time I played basketball, so I'm like, okay, let me make a song on Kobe and LeBron. It's trash though. I don't remember the lyrics, but yeah, it was terrible. My first time in an actual studio. My first time in an actual studio was late. Like my first time actually recording was just on a computer. Like one of my homies had a computer in their house. But my first time in an actual studio, I think probably was like late 9th grade, maybe like early 10th grade. And it was like the worst setup too. Like I just went unprepared, like, oh, it's a studio, and made something on the spot all late. But to be honest, I don't even really be in studios like that. Like a lot of my music I record at home. I like recording at home. I'll record in a studio with an engineer, but I like having like my own space, doing it making everything how I want to sound and stuff. I think a lot, but I'm very hard on myself, so I just feel like I have so much more room to grow. Like like I mean, I can make hard songs today, but then tomorrow I'm like, fuck, I just could have went better. Like, I'm just really hard on myself. But from when I first started rapping and now, I think the most I progressed that I'm proud of myself for, it would be like when I first started. I mean, this is with everybody. I think when you first start, if anybody start rapping, you're gonna naturally sound like your favorite rapper. But I had the biggest problem when I first started rapping. Like I sounded like Drake, so bad. Like everybody would tell me, and I would try so hard, like, and I just sounded like Drake. So I think that's my biggest thing. Like over the years, I kind of learned to develop my own sound, and like that's kind of helped me a lot too. Cause now it's made my recording process way easier. Cause I know what I want to go for. I'm not trying to sound like nobody else. It's just me. So yeah. The main thing is listen to other artists. Like I was just listening to Drake. Like listen like way more artists, and also I have a problem with not a problem, but going back and listening to old music, like listening to old albums. Cause I kind of just like what I do now is I try to hear everything, and try to take everybody's flows, everybody's little ideas they had, whatever, and just do what I want to do with it. But that and honestly, just rapping like on beats, practicing, just trying to come up with something to say that sounds new, like a flow that sounds like nobody else heard. That's what I do a lot. When I'm driving all day, I just be coming up with stuff. Like, hell, I sound crazy all the time, like just saying stuff. So yeah, I'm just always trying to come up with new stuff on the spot. Right now, I gotta go. I'm dropping a project next month. So last year when I dropped my first mixtape, I think I had about, maybe after like 3 months, I maybe had like 9,000 views, maybe like 4 months. So my goal for this one is I want after that first month to have 10,000. That's my main goal. I've been going for it. So yeah, we gonna try to get that. I'm trying to, I've been saying this for the past 2 years, I'm trying to be where I want to be by summer this year. I have a high feeling that's gonna happen. You know, whether, you know, I'm not saying that's signed by somebody or something, but I just feel like, you know, because my end goal is to be in the industry. I want to be an artist that's respected, and I think that's gonna happen this year. I don't know about summer, but I think it's gonna happen this year. Everything's been panning its way out to this. I feel like this is my time, like this is my year. So that's my main goal, is to make it. Yeah. So like when my project coming out next month, it's called 11/11 for that reason. With like this, the past few months, that's the main thing I've been going through, is learning how to control my thoughts. Like, you know, I feel like you can actually subconsciously manifest things, not even realizing it. Like just by, you know, when you think about how much bad thoughts that run through your mind daily, and how much you focus on that every single day. When you think about something, when you think about this specific, this can go wrong this way for a whole week. Eventually, it's probably gonna happen like that. And I mean, like with me, I know I can be honest with myself and say, as negatively as I think a lot of the time, I don't put a lot of positive thought into the same amount of time. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So, like, you know, just think about all the negative shit you think about. If you flip that into some positive things, your life is gonna turn positive. And with 11/11, I just been seeing 11/11 everywhere, and I looked it up, and it just means you're on the right path to control your thoughts. Like, your thoughts are becoming your reality. So that's a big thing for me. If I would have known that last year, I probably would have. The healing process would have been way faster, because I wasn't thinking about that. I'm talking about all day just thinking, just the worst, for no reason. Like, it's just a thought, you know. Like, but thoughts are powerful. So, controlling your thoughts is a big thing. And your words too. Yeah. So all my music's on. Well, y'all can find me on Instagram. It's @SincerelyZaire. All the links to my music in my bio. It's on all streaming services, SoundCloud, YouTube. I dropped a project last year in May. I have a new one coming next month. It's called 11/11. I just dropped a single for it actually yesterday. So yeah, it's everywhere. It's all Apple Music on my just type in Zaire on Apple Music, Spotify, anything. It's everywhere really. And yeah, the new project next month, hopefully next month. So yeah, my Instagram is Sincerely Zaire. I'm on Twitter @RealZaire. I'm not on Facebook. I need to make one just because I guess everybody has Facebook. I got TikTok. It's Real Zaire. Everything I'm on is Real Zaire or Sincerely Zaire. It's one of the two. They all got the same tag name. So yeah.
That shit wasn't even on my mind. I was really slumped. Come point me to something I can find. I can lift me up. Man down, pick 'em up. Uber X, pick you up. Send you down to Malibu. I can't waste my money on no hoe. Know what I'm trying to do. Put you in designer, look you in your eyes. I'm proud of you. Brody tryna play it low key, but I'm wildin' too. Praying that nobody know me, but they bound to. And I always speak the truth when I'm in the sound booth. Fuck the in the back.
Felt like a commercial. What's up, y'all? Zaire. Y'all checking out Never Level TV. Yes, sir.